Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to another episode review here on the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and super solid episode of Creature Commandos. It dropped earlier today on Max. I just watched it a few short minutes ago, thoroughly enjoyed it. Before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on Creature Commandos, you don't want to keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, wow, what an episode. Leave it to the incredible storytelling ability of James Gunn to tell two different stories simultaneously. You got the Creature Commandos on their mission to regroup and get back to the castle and unfortunately kill or try to kill the princess. In the meantime, we get another very interesting, very tragic backstory of one of our Creature Commando team members, Dr. Phosphorus. It was his turn to get his backstory and his creation and how he came to be, well, what he is. And of course, what this episode also served as, had a juicy bonus for us. We had our very first look, even though he was in mostly shadows, surprise, surprise, and mostly a silhouette. We had our very first look at DCU's Batman in this episode. That right, Batman appeared very briefly, as it was implied that Dr. Phosphorus's new criminal activities brought him into conflict with the Dark Knight. And obviously, nobody voiced him, and we have no idea who's playing this character. But the latest is that the Brave and the Bold movie is still happening. It's in early developmental stages, and Andy Muschietti is supposed to be directing it, and that's all we really know about it. We don't know who's supposed to play Batman or whatnot, but it'll be an interesting development to see in due time. So it was just exciting to see a glimpse of such a fan-favorite character like Batman appear in this show. As briefly as it was, he looked really, really good from the silhouettes there, so I was quite pleased with what I saw. I also really liked the backstory for Dr. Phosphorus. It made a lot of sense. And I was also pleased to see the inclusion of another Gotham character besides Batman. Rupert Thorne, evil gangster Rupert Thorne, made his debut and was also subsequently killed in this episode as well. But you know what? The prick had it coming with the way what he did to Dr. Phosphorus's family and to Dr. Phosphorus himself. I do like how it showed us that Dr. Phosphorus still has a gentle side to him when we saw him playing with the little girl, in the home he was held up in, showing that he still has a tender side to him, like that paternal side to him after all, despite losing his wife and son in such a horrific way. I also liked the stuff with Mina and the bride in the whorehouse. That was pretty cool, dealing with a couple of rowdy metahuman customers in a very violent fashion was very exciting, very cool. Weasel's story took a turn. I thought we were going to get this epic Weasel wild wolf fight, and it turns out he ends up bonding with them by playing fetch with a whole pack of wolves, and he's reluctant to leave them, even though he knows he's on mission and he's got to get to the castle there. Nice seeing Waller and Economos again. Is that how you say his name? John Economos? Yeah. Even though they don't know Clayface has entered the picture, hopefully they get those answers with Flag recovering, if he does, before the end of this season. Speaking of which, guys, next week is the season 1 finale. Fortunately, we don't have to fret too much because, we've got the Superman movie coming along with Peacemaker season 2, so there's still plenty of DC content to enjoy in the coming year. But also, eventually, we will get a second season of this show as well, which is very, very exciting. So it's nice knowing that a second season is indeed coming ahead of the season 1 finale. But overall, great episode, great backstory for an interesting character, exciting sequences, funny, humorous stuff with our characters. I like the budding friendship between Nina. Is it Nina or Mina? Mina and the bride. Stuff with Weasel was great too, but it was nice that Dr. Phosphorus got to have his time in the spotlight in this episode. and now we know more about him and we care that much more about him too. So well done, James Gunn and everybody involved. Another solid episode for a solid show. What did you guys think of the recent episode of Creature Commandos? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night. The season 1 finale of Creature Commandos drops next week on Max. Season 2 is coming. We just don't know when yet, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching. And until then, may the Force be with you.